Hey guys, and welcome. Welcome to episode 3 of SIS in layman's terms. An opportunity to kind of get everybody into the groove, but welcome to the SIS technical support team headquarters here at the Valley of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. I am Dave. I am your national tech support guru. Hey guys, and welcome. All right, so today, it's been a couple of weeks, and July 4th holiday has come and gone. I hope everybody had a good and safe time and had a chance to rest up a little bit, because it was kind of quiet around here, which is not a bad thing. And so today, we're going to work a little bit with some different aspects, some common things that we run into when it comes to trying to get started with SIS and trying to get those little initial hiccups or those little bumps in the road to kind of get over those initially. Now, this is a call-in show. This is live. I am doing this right here at my desk, and I am not opposed to talking to myself for an hour, but I'd rather not. This is an opportunity for you to call into the number, and the number is 865-310-4880. That's my cell phone number. It's hooked into the board here, so we can actually have a conversation about what you're seeing or what you're doing, and not, even the things that are not working correctly. Let's take a look at that, because a lot of times what happens, and even happened today, is that customers or sales reps or something, and some of the simplest things, even though we had just talked about how to overcome these particular issues, how that they still happen. And here's a prime example. And I'm not calling anybody out. These are very common things that happen. For example, set up a scanner today. And the gentleman I was on the phone with walked him through all of the basics of how to scan and how to print. And it's nothing more complicated than that, because that's where you start. You have to begin to crawl before you can actually run with this program. So before we started getting into anything crazy, we started talking about, okay, here's how you scan and here's how you print. And here are the most common things that happen in that experience. And the most common one is this program called Scan Portal. Now, Scan Portal is this piece of software that literally bridges the gap between the barcode scanner on your local PC and the server. So all it does is it sits there and listens to the COM port and says, okay, I am wanting to hear some data to come across this line, and if I do, I'm going to send it on. Well, the biggest thing that happens is one of two things. Either A, the program's closed. Program's just not running. The scanner has nowhere to send its data. Or the second most common thing is that the parameters are not set correctly in the scanner, and it comes up with a communication error. And again, these are both very, very simple things to fix. So let's start with just that. Now, if you're interested in getting the SIS running on here, this is the main page. Of course, you can't see it because I don't have it up right now. There we go. It helps a lot more to actually see what I'm talking about. So this is the main page. This is the SIS page. And now I don't have Scan Portal on this computer, I don't think. I'll take that back. I do. Put this over here. Now, this normally is a drop-down menu here that says Motorola COM port. My barcode scanner is plugged up onto the laptop behind me, so it's not going to show up here, but this will be good enough to show you what I'm talking about. So this program here, just log in, and that's it. This is all that the program does, is it makes sure that the COM port is set up, and it makes sure that the data is going across the way it's supposed to. This is what it looks like normally. And when we start populating it, there'll be lines of data going into this box. And this program needs to stay open or minimized. Now, you'd be surprised how many times I get a phone call say, hey, Dave, the scanner's not working. Scanner's not working. You need to fly 7 hours out to my shop and fix it. And most of the time, I double click on an icon and that fixes the problem entirely. So this is a very, very common thing that happens. And I don't want to sound like I'm picking on folks, because I'm not. This is the most common thing that I run into. And once they understand what this program is and does, and they use it for a little while, then it's, I never get those phone calls from those people again, which is not a bad thing. I don't mind talking to folks. I don't mind supporting the program the best way possible, but I don't know how else to communicate this than this format we've got here. Now, that's the scan portal, and what this does is this sends data to the program. That didn't look like the... There we go. Sorry. Go away, Google. So this is the testing account. Now, if you see some part, this is a discontinued account number. They no longer are in business. So if I pull up pricing, a lot of times the pricing will show up as zeros, and that's why. So that's how you scan, and that's how you get the data into the program via the barcode scanning, barcode scanner. Now, the other way is with a phone app. So this is the phone app here, and I'm going to log in with the log out. The world's worst sin in broadcasting is radio silence here. But I have fat fingers and a tiny little keyboard on this little iPhone. And I mistyped the email address. AUDOBOTY.com. Okay, there we go. So here's the phone app. I'm going to wait just a second here because I have a streaming cast over here to my right. I'm going to make sure that shows up correctly. Yeah, there we go. That's the phone app. And I'm going to swipe left. Now, this is a little trick with the app. If you do have an app here and it's showing the RO numbers, we have 381. I'm going to swipe left and hit the edit button. I'm not sure what my technician numbers are. Let's use Scott Piper, technician 6. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the barcode scanner here. I have some barcodes here on my desk. Took a picture of that, and I used 12 of those, and submit. And it's going to say saved. So I used a phone to do it. 381. Now, again, this is a discontinued account number, so don't be surprised to see zeros show up. And there's Scott. He used 12 fasteners. Yep, and showing zeros. And again, this is a discontinued account number, which is fine. This is good for testing purposes. It's not going to get anybody in trouble. And all of the data in this account is completely made up, except for the part numbers, and the pricing is not showing. That's fine because, like I said. So at this point, I have a valid tech scanning method with either the barcode scanner or my phone app. We've got some other stuff coming down the pike. It's not been released yet, but it's going to be soon. And it's going to be using a tablet and a generic barcode scanner. And I've got a couple of those here as examples. This is a $60 scanner that I picked up. It is supposed to ride on a phone, kind of like that. So if you have the phone app and this is riding on it, of course, my little iPhone 5 series, really not going to be one that I would be putting in this thing because it would just fall out because it's too small. But my Note 10, as you can see, is just a little too big for so somewhere in between, we're going to get it figured out of a good working phone for this. But it's a Bluetooth scanner. It's like I said, I paid $60 for it off of Amazon. And all I have to do is pair it with my phone or with a tablet or some other scanning device. And I can use this device instead of having to use something else. And you're saying, Dave, that's pretty cool, but that's not what I want to use. Well, this here is a $30 scanner. Again, off of Amazon, ordered on the same day. It uses let's see, got a USB cord here. Fat phone, looks like a printer jack on it. Plugs into the bottom, other end goes into USB and charges. Now, as soon as I scan this, I have my tablet over here. It will pair with the Bluetooth on that tablet as soon as I light up, and it'll be solid blue, and I'm ready to scan. And so instead of having to use the camera on the phone, I'm using the tablet. So this is the kind of stuff that we've got coming. It's not ready to show yet, and anything more than just the concept. All right, cool. All right, so let's talk about some other ways of getting data into the program. Well, the one that I'm the most excited about is our vending machines. Vending is a big thing with Worth now. When I was first started in 2001, I had a district manager that told me one time, and he said, David, the SIS is great and all, but it will never be a big deal until we figure out a way to get a vending machine to talk to SIS. Well, we've done it. SIS and vending have been a thing, and they still work, and they work well. And so as a technician pulls items out of a vending machine, if we have everything set up correctly, then the technician number, which is in SIS, and the RO number, if it's like, for example, CCC integration, for example, as long as those numbers are valid, then it will make all the necessary connections and not even have to log into the SIS to be able to get those that invoice back out. If the account is not set up with the CCC integration, then the SIS will just automatically create the RO number. So 1234, or in this case 381, the item will show up just like anything else because all of that data is saved in the vending process, and it shows up within, I'm thinking it's an hour. Every hour the systems merge or they pull data from each other, and that's when we get everything to show up. So it takes about an hour for the data to show up into SIS, and that's a really nice way of getting data into the system in a non-scanner method. And lastly, the one that me personally I like doing is manual entries. I'm a bit old school like that. So typing in my favorite part number, search for it. And let's see, I used 15 of those and save. Again, zero pricings are showing up, and the reason they are is because the discontinued account number, but that's okay. If I'm ready to print, I can print this if I wanted. I can keep going with it. But I think you kind of get the idea of what we're doing with different scanning methods. The problem that folks run into the most is these two things. One, getting the technicians to use the scanner, and that's sometimes a difficult way of doing it. But one of the things that you can do is you can do a report called a technician report. And this will really help you get ahead of figuring out who's been using the program and who's not. And I think I'm going to use Fred Flintstone here. I don't know if Fred's actually scanned anything this month or not. Filter. No, he hasn't. So if we get to the end of the month here and you pull Fred into your office and say, Fred, notice that you're not using the scanner. Well, if you are using the scanner, you're using the wrong number. And so you're giving credit to somebody else. And you can also do a parts usage report. Like I said, this is an account we use for testing, and just about everybody at Worth has the login for this. So here are all the items that we've used so far this month. And I want to know who the technician is. So we'll come back to technician report. Let's do all technicians. Filter. These were all put on RO381, and I have two technicians there. I need to congratulate Larry, and I need to tell Scott and figure out who. Oh, yeah, this was the manual entry that we did. So this was the parts person that was manually adding parts. So we have three different people using the program, and I can't really say I'll be excited about it because the data, the scanner is telling us, all of the data is telling here is that there's not a whole lot going on with this. All right, so we're 17 minutes in, and I want to give out the number again because if you're interested in jumping in on board with this program and really kind of getting your questions answered, I want you to be the one asking the questions. I want to see what you want out of this. And so the number again is area code 865-310-4880. We'll be doing this until 5 o'clock Eastern, and we'll go from there. All right, cool. So that's the parts usage report, the technician report, and the technician report is going to give it what job this was on, and we can go from there. All right. So we've talked about the scanners, and the most common issue that you ran into is that somebody has forgot to load the program. The other part is that somebody left the scanner off the charger and the battery died and that sort of stuff. That's all easy. But one of the things we run into from time to time is that the scanner is stuck in memory mode. Now, memory mode in the scanner, and forgive me for just a second, I'll reach back here and grab it. This is our Bluetooth barcode scanner. So there we go. This is our Bluetooth barcode scanner. So some screen distracted me there for a second. Apologize. And the one thing that we run into frequently, especially if the gun is left off the charger and the battery dies, is that the gun will forget the parameter settings. Now, whenever we set one of these up brand new, I always suggest that they write down the numbers and then, because you will be going through this on a regular, and I can't say a regular basis, but whenever it happens, and you need to know how to reset the thing back up. It's super simple to do, but you need to do it a couple of times in order to get to get comfortable with it. So the text delay is 1,000. Read and write timeouts are 8,000. And the reason that we can't use the defaults is because the scanner is a little more intuitive than previous versions of the program. And so what it does is that it actually needs a couple extra seconds for the data that's in the scanner to be transmitted to the server and coming back. So with those delay numbers, 1,000, 8,000, 8,000 debug off, then the scanner has enough time to receive the all clear next item and be ready to go. And the gun will stay in Bluetooth mode. And what's cool about this gun is that it has a range of 300 feet under perfect conditions. Now, if you have a lot of stuff in the shop, for example, block walls, open circuits, not an open circuit, but electronic items. I had a shop one time where we were trying to transmit through the welding station. They have one of those big aluminum welding stations in the shop, and the welding station was producing a lot of power, and the scanner wouldn't transmit through that jig that they had for aluminum repair. Okay, we just had to move the computer or move the cabinets or something. It was just literally just moving it a few feet to make it line of sight around where this aluminum jig was. And that solved the problem. But I've also been in other shops where, and then this is really dating myself, the shop had the old school CRT monitors, and the base station was on the right side of the guy's desk. The clips and fasteners were out the door on the left side of his desk, and so whenever the scanner would try to transmit, it had to go through one of those old school big boxy CRT monitors, and it just couldn't do it. And all we had to do was take the scanner from the right-hand side of his desk and move it over to the left. And we went from a range of 10 feet to going out the back door, out the main door, into the parking lot, past the dumpster, and the scanner was still working. So it was just amazing range just because of that CRT monitor was interfering with what we were doing. So anyway, there are some basic things about the scanner. Now, there's other little things about the program, little hidden gems of what this program is capable of doing. Now, I've talked about some of this stuff over the years, and we'll kind of bring it in here as well. Now, if you're needing some other information, if you're needing to make some changes in here, all you have to do is click on your first name up here in the upper right-hand corner. And you can go to My Shops and Crash Auto Body. And from here, we can go in and change the markup. Let's say the default markup, 50%. Up. Don't ask me why. I can take out the zip code and it saves it. I can't remember the zip code that this account is under, but that's okay. And then now what I can do is, with everything at 50%, if something is $1, it's going to charge it out at $1.50. That's essentially what a 50% markup is. So that's how you change markup. Super easy, super simple. But then you can really get into the, I hope my internet, holy cow, is it raining? I hope my internet survives. Stream looks solid for right now. Internet is very susceptible to lots of rain like that, and apologize. So anyway, the program itself is very forgiving in the way that you're trying to use it, and its main function is getting those receipts made. So let's go back to our RO number here, 381. And we're going to print the receipt and download the standard. It should be zeros, but sometimes there's some pricing that will show up as zeros. Okay. So here's our zeros, but it's, these are the parts. This is our invoice. This is the receipt we just checked out. And I always kind of compare it to checking out at the grocery store. If you're checking out at the grocery store and you get to the car, and I've been guilty of this many times. My wife reminds me, says, Dave, did you get a gallon of milk? And I'm like, no, I didn't get a gallon of milk. Got everything else. So I have to go back into the store and get another gallon of milk. So 381 is our RO number. I'm going to close this out. I'm going to pretend that we printed it. I'm not going to waste the paper. There's 381. It's a closed RO because we've checked out. I come back into the store and I need to add some Toyota fasteners to this. It's kind of a mishmash car here, but we used 18 of those. Save. Now that's been reopened. And if I go to print this, you're going to notice something. There's only one line on it. And the reason there's only one line is that, like, again, I only have my gallon of milk on here. I don't have all of the other stuff that was in my grocery cart from before. I'm only showing the one gallon of milk in this situation. And the reason for that is that you don't want to have, because there's a lot of times in shops where they're putting the car back together. If it comes in on Monday and it goes out on Friday, on Wednesday is when they start putting the car essentially back together. So they may use some items on Wednesday, they may use some items on Thursday, and use a handful of items on Friday. So there is a possibility of you having 3 different receipts, or maybe 3 to 6 receipts, depending on how often they print. If you have the CCC integration, it's every 30 minutes, top and bottom of the hour. The system automatically pushes that invoice over. But you'll notice that the invoice number keeps going up. This is invoice number 524. And you're probably saying, well, where did my RO go? There it is. All I did was just type in 381, and there it is. But next to each one of the lines will be the invoice number. 523 are these 3 items, and then 524 was the gallon of milk. And that's one of the beginning things. I wouldn't say that it's an advanced user item, but that's definitely one of the beginner items that we do. Try to get used to using the program, used to seeing things running through the program. All right. Again, this is a call-in show, or call-in video, call-in live, whatever you want to call it. Number here is area code 865-310-4880. And I'd love to be able to find out from you, what is it about SIS that you need help with? What is it that you find difficult to use? What is it about this program that really could be better? And there's always room for better. We're in the process right now of setting up some new integration partners. Here recently, we joined Sika, and Sika is opening up some amazing opportunities for us. And those opportunities are really going to give us the ability to communicate not so much on from a worth to a customer, but worth to another software for the customer, so that they don't have too many program tabs open. In fact, with the CCC integration, for example, we often tell folks, we don't want you in our software. You don't live here. You live in CCC, and we need our program to be as hands-off as possible to make it more effective of what you're trying to do. Go back to the big screen. So, coming across some other stuff, some other news. I follow quite a few of the magazines, the ABRNs, the Body Shop Business, et cetera, et cetera. And I know from my trip up to Indiana, one of the things that kind of came to me, and I'd like to hear from you. I know if you're probably watching this, you're probably watching it after the fact, which is cool. I'd like to know how the parts shortages are affecting you and your business. I know here at Worth, we have the hot list that we every day that comes out. Our parts department is working hard to, or I can't say it's our procurement department, our product department is working very hard to make sure that we have the stock in order to sell, because you the customer rely on us. You rely on us having the products that you need in order to get your jobs done. But I was talking to another customer yesterday, I believe. No, it was Friday. It was Friday. Today's Monday, so I really doubt I was talking to a customer yesterday. I was talking to this customer on Friday, and I was asking her about, how this is affecting her and her business. And I was like, I can tell you, that here I have this pickup truck and this really common part that should be in stock, but it's not in stock, and the OE cannot give me an estimated time of arrival of when that part's going to get there. And got me into thinking is that how widespread is this? I mean, if it's only like, it's only affecting Volkswagens, but not affecting, let's say, Chevrolets, or it's affecting Fords, but because I know for a fact that Ford is having some issues getting new F-150s out, for example, but is it affecting all of their cars? Is it affecting their aftermarket parts availability? And this is really kind of a question that I've had. It's like, what are we running into, not only as Worth, but also you as the customer? What other things are you finding yourself short on, and how are you overcoming it? That's really my question is to the industry is that, okay, you have these shortages, you have this challenge. How are you overcoming it? Are you able to deliver the cars mostly done and have that car come back after that part is delivered? Maybe it's a trim piece, maybe it's not a safety issue kind of item, or are you reaching out to some alternative vendors that may have some aftermarket parts that just will do the job but not necessarily perfect? I don't know. I don't have the answer. I'm looking for those answers, and I would love to hear from you. In fact, go ahead and put it in the down there. There's a comment box at the bottom. Would love to hear about what you think, or I'd love to hear what you're doing. What are you doing to be able to grab those lines and get those cars out the door and not have unnecessary rental car fees? And then that's another thing too, is that I've also heard that rental cars are kind of a hot commodity. Even getting rental cars right now is kind of tough. So how's that affecting your business? So this is a very interesting time to be alive and dealing with the world marketplace and the world shortages in different things. Because I know for my wife and I, we're looking at an RV, and last month we drove up to Elkhart, Indiana. And with that trip, we got a chance to see the manufacturer and see the absolute huge number of almost complete RVs sitting in their back lot. And it just kind of blew my mind. It's like, oh, wow. It's like all of this inventory is just sitting back here. This RV here is waiting on a microwave, and this one over there is waiting on some furniture or something. I mean, it's almost that kind of a thing. And it's really crippled the industry into not moving the units like they're supposed to. And then I was talking to one of the folks on the floor, and they were saying, yeah, it's beyond that. It's not just some accessories or some appliances and whatnot. It goes down to the fact that they're having a hard time getting the frames, not the frames, the chassis for the RVs that they're building. So it's really just kind of a single cog that's missing out of the wheel, or it's a cog that's missing some teeth, and it's just kind of making the whole machine run rough. And it's amazing how much our industries are all interconnected. But I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to see what you think. Love to hear about how you're overcoming these challenges. And love to hear about how we at Worth can try to help, and also how this program SIS can help you in that. So I know a lot of things are all about getting paid for the things that you're using in your job, but we're also looking at things that we could be doing better. All right. So let's dive back into it. I've sit here and jabberjawed enough about my musings, I guess you could say. So before I talked about what the SIS is and does in its basic form, but let's talk about, let's see here. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about how we can be more successful with this program. That's not what I want. There. That's what I want. There's 2 reports in this program that are extremely powerful, and I don't think people take advantage of them as often as they should. Okay, our rain shower has turned into a thunderstorm. So I'll go ahead and give you a heads up now. If the stream just suddenly ends, it probably means that I don't have power. That's one of the things about living in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park is that power tends it tends to come and go, especially when there's big thunderstorms going over and a lightning strike on a wayward power pole is just enough to knock out the power for everybody. All right, so the most important reports here in this program, one is called the parts usage report. Now, we just talked about this one a second ago. The parts usage report, I can pull it up for all suppliers, or I can just pull it up for Worth. Again, this is kind of a testing account, so we did a lot of weird and wacky things with this program. This report here, if I was to print this out, let's just say this was a weekly report, I would come in as the sales rep and talk to the manager, the owner, the parts person, whoever's responsible for making this work. And I would say, look, looks like we've got a failure to get everybody on board using it. What can I do to help? You know, in the week, we've only charged out four lines of data, and it's all on one RO. So is that a testing RO? Is that an actual car, or what happened? And this is a good diagnostic tool to figure out, oh wow, this is not good. We need, the scanner, the battery in the scanner died, or the phone that we had tethered to the cabinets, it grew legs and disappeared. There's a lot of things that happen, and there's no one thing, but this report is what's so powerful about this program. And it's powerful in a simple fact, is that I can very quickly diagnose what's going on in the shop just by pulling up the basics of this report here. It's like, okay, in a week's time, we've only had 4 scans, and we haven't made hardly any money with it. So is the business been that slow? Which I kind of doubt. Or is it that the technicians or the parts person that's responsible for making the system work is just not doing the scanning, or not manually entering the data, or the vending machine is down, or whatever? We can dive into figuring out the why, get it fixed, and then come back and then hopefully have a better result next week. And the reason I like talking about this report here is because you can automate it. Over here under Schedule Report, I can create a new report, a parts usage report. You never want to do daily. It's an option. A lot of people are tempted to use that, but I don't recommend it. We'll do a weekly report. And Bubba at Napa.com is who's going to get this weekly report. I don't know if there is a Bubba at Napa, but I like using this email address frequently, so I apologize to Bubba if he's actually out there. But this email here, I can set this up, and that email will show up with the PDF of that particular shop without having to log in. This is very powerful, especially the Worth sales rep that is becoming a partner with the shop to try to get in there and help them use this program to the best of their ability. And by using the scheduled report, you don't have to think about it. Now, I can put in 10 or 12 different people that needs the report, or the 2, or just the 1. But as a sales rep, I would love to have this report to be able to kind of help judge the health of the program in the shop instead of having to guess at it. And that's the powerful report. The other one you can do is you can also do a technician report. Technician report is going to show you who's using the scanner or who's using the program the way it's supposed to, based upon the technician number that was entered as well. It's a little more, it's showing the same data, but a little bit deeper dive of the data that's showing as well. I usually just do the parts usage report, and it actually shows a lot of help in a shop, especially ones you're trying to get going with it. All right. So far we've talked about repair orders. We've talked about barcode scanners. We've talked about the parts usage report. And really that's about the biggest parts of this program that I wanted to show off today. The program is growing. It is really seeing some fantastic usages, and we're experiencing a lot of really positive feedback of what this program is doing for shops, and is able to help earn that little bit of extra cash that the shop is needing. It's all about profit. It's all about making the additional income to offset the costs associated in being able to get these cars out the door. And especially if you're in a situation where you're having to eat some extra costs because the parts you're needing to fix the car are not coming in the way they're supposed to, and you're trying to figure out how to keep the lights on, or a little bit of help is what you're needing when it comes to additional profitability. That's what this program's here for. It's what it's always done. It has been that really awesome program that can help a shop get over the hump, get that little bit of extra income coming in to help offset the cost of being in business. And that's a nice thing to think about, is that what you do for a company like Worth is that you help businesses make money. And not so much in I'm trying to sell you on anything. This is like, I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm trying to help with a free program. In free as in if you're a Worth customer, that is, and using Worth products, then we do appreciate it. But being able to turn that purchase into a profitability without having to do a whole lot of work. And that's exactly what this program does, is it is able to turn that loss into a profit without having to commit to a whole bunch of extra stuff. You know, like I said, the barcode scanning app is free. If you're a Worth customer, have a Worth login for the SIS program, download it. If you're on the iPhone, it's Worth SIS-X, and if it's on the Google Play Store, it's Worth SIS-X as well. We have some things coming that's going to make it at least expensive. You know, manual is always going to be my personal favorite way of getting data into the program. But pretty soon we're going to have an option that if that is somebody calling about my extended warranty. Apologize for that. And here pretty soon we're going to have the ability to bring in an inexpensive scanner. And that's totally up to you, what you want to spend on in your shop for tools like this. And that's what it is. It's a tool to start making money with it. All right. Okay, so got about 15 minutes here left to go, and I think I may go ahead and end it just a little bit early. Honestly, my voice is giving out, and that rain is even harder, so I don't want to accidentally just hang up on you with the stream. But it's been fun. Been a lot of fun. I enjoy doing what I do. And want to leave you with this. We have an opportunity to make some big changes in the world. This company is pointed in the right direction. It is under some awesome leadership. They have been thinking about different ways to improve the customer experience and really have put a lot of thought into it. And as really as a long-term employee, that's nice to see. There's not many companies out there that are as concerned about their internal staff as Worth is, but also concerned about our customer base and what they're doing. So here in the near future, Worth is going to be doing a lot of really cool stuff. And some of it is in my department, and some of it is other related departments. And I appreciate you. I appreciate the time that you have spent watching this video. I appreciate the time to learn about the program itself. But also take the time to really give me your feedback. Hey, Dave, this is a really great idea. Or, Dave, that's not so hot. But it's that feedback that I need in order to improve the program. We have weekly meetings with our developer. They have been absolutely on point in listening to what the program is doing or not doing and how it needs to improve, and really bringing some of those ideas out and fleshing them to a point where the things are going to work amazingly well. There are going to be some amazing integrations coming, and I can't wait to start talking about them because it has been something I've been working on for months now. And it's hard to keep it secret sometimes. But these integrations that are coming are going to really improve what this program does and how it's going to impact our customers and also improve what they're doing. But I want to say thank you for coming along for the ride. Thank you for having a chance to give somebody like me an opportunity to sit here and talk about the program a little bit. And I know that it's Captain Nerd Boy talking about computer stuff, and it's your attention is already gone. But this is a fantastic opportunity for everybody, especially me. This is an opportunity to do some really cool stuff. But I am yammering, and I apologize. But we'll be back in 2 weeks. I don't know the date right off the top of my head, but in 2 weeks, it'll be a Monday again, 4 to 5. I hope to see you there. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.